Falling asleep because you drank too much coffee. Coworker. Looks like someone could use a coffee. Sometimes people ask me how I know all the random shit I know, with varying levels of politeness and belief in its veracity. And all I got is I have ADHD, an internet connection, really good research skills, and zero self-regulatory mechanisms. When you ask your boss for structure, but then hate being told what to do. ADHD is being able to clean someone else's house when they need help, but staring at your own room for 15 hours, trying to figure out how to get the executive functioning to clean. Nobody. ADHD people when they have something scheduled later in the day. Okay, I worked really hard today on the important thing we already had going on, right? On the important thing, right? Looking better, thanks Vivansa after struggling with weight loss. Rapidly approaching underweight. Me explaining time blindness to my mum. My mum who never had a problem with time management. This broke me. Spends months building up a new daily routine. Forgets one day. Never does it ever again. Showering before a haircut so you do not stink. Showering after a haircut to get rid of the prickly hairs. When someone starts talking about stuff you researched to death, but their interpretation is way off, but you have no time or emotional energy to respond. Coming back to find you, have locked your keys in the car, but you also forgot to roll up the windows. Call me if you need anything. Also me. Finally prescribed highly addictive ADHD medication. Jump through endless hoops to get my highly addictive ADHD medication. Constantly forget to take my highly addictive ADHD medication. Constantly forget to take my highly addictive ADHD medication. Moments before an ADHDer has a rage outburst. My ADHD picking up sounds that no one else in my family could hear. So tell me more about yourself. Me, trying to remember who I am. Me, anxiety about phone calls. Do not disturb setting. Someone. Why do not you treat your ADHD? It is not that serious, bro. Also, me trying to understand a text. Your mom tried raising you normal like you did not have ADHD and tried to iron it out, scrolling through ADHD memes to learn about it, not knowing what it meant. Start to realize most things you did wrong in your childhood were ADHD and were not your fault. You realized you were trying to mask your entire childhood to seem normal, and now you do not know who you are. I will do things when I am less tired. Never becomes less tired? Oh no, I have never seen anything more accurate in my life. ADHDers when they finally get out of bed. We are already behind schedule. Executive dysfunction is not just for things you do not want to do. I have been meaning to go get ice cream for like an hour now. This is too real though. I spent 2 hours the other night intending to watch TV and never did it. This is the difference between procrastination and executive dysfunction. Me trying to remember what I heard or said just moments ago. When you read a whole page, but then realize you forgot to understand. When you have to keep reading the same paragraph because you cannot focus. I am talking to someone with ADHD. I am going to interrupt them before they can talk. Okay, now that I am done talking, I want to hear what they were going to say earlier. What do you mean you forgot? Hobbies I miss but am too overwhelmed or tired to try and enjoy. A never-ending list of shit I do not want to do that needs taking care of. Me rewatching another movie I have seen 100 times. When you take new ADHD meds and suddenly become extremely sensitive to caffeine for the first time in your life. Me multiple times a day. I am trying to. What do you call it? What you look like should not matter. It is what is on the inside. Me, doing homework, doing something else. My ADHD. I do not procrastinate. I intentionally wait until the last minute, because then I will be older and therefore wiser. ADHDers that take on life without medication. Well, first of all, with caffeine and anger. All things are possible, so jot that down. Eating a balanced diet of varying textures, flavors, and nutritional values. Peanuts in any form. After all these years, autism, ADHD, social anxiety, finally I have them all. ADHD people working on anything other than the thing they should be working on. This person probably has to study for finals. Me dissociating in the middle of a conversation. ADHDers. Knowing everything about one subject. Knowing just enough about almost everything to be able to have conversations using patterns and logic. Someone giving me verbal instructions, my brain. Viewing ADHD as an insurmountable obstacle and giving up on finding ways to improve my life. Finding a good therapist, getting on the right meds, and/or making lifestyle changes so I can live my best ADHD life. Me being excited to start taking Adderall because my neurotypical mother and brother who took it recreationally said it would give me a lot more energy and I would be more productive. Started taking it, and now I am so tired every day that sometimes I do not even have the energy to do dishes. When my new Saucynade prescriber lets me see if stimulants would actually help me, even though I have an anxiety disorder, previous prescribers would not, and it immediately calms me down and helps me function better. Unlimited power. Washing your hair, spending 30 minutes to find a hairdo that hides the greasiness of your hair. Brain came up with a new fidget to do constantly. It is pulling out nose hairs and it hurts a lot. Me on Ritalin. Expectation. Reality. My web design teacher when my ADHD brain won't remember everything he tells me. My dentist telling me my teeth look great and that I must be doing a great job brushing. Me. How lazy are you? Me. I figured out you don't actually have to assemble these things. Finally putting my laundry backlog away. This week's laundry. My brain. Do it. Me. Why? My brain. Just do it. Me. Okay? Let's see when's the assignment due. Yesterday. The sentence in my mind. Literally the same sentence when I try to say it out loud. The cheese I spilled in the bottom of the oven watching me bake more stuff instead of cleaning it out. Finish the paper worth 70% of my grade. Play with slime in a bag. Me for some reason. Relax. Just try to keep your mind organized. My mind. ADHDers that take on life without medication. Well, first of all, with caffeine and anger, all things are possible, so jot that down. Me when my alarm clock goes off in the morning. Screenshots I will never use, my phone. I'll never waste my money on dumb stuff ever again. 2 hours later. When you're sleeping and your alarm didn't ring yet, but the amount of sleep you're getting is suspicious. Me after staring at the wall for 4 hours. Sucks how I don't have time for anything. How to play harmonica, the blues. What the hell am I doing here? I have a test tomorrow. I don't even have a harmonica. Brain. Did we get anything done this weekend? Me? No. Brain. Okay, then at least we relaxed. Me. Somehow also no. I get a very high score on a test. It is an ADHD test. I finally have a diagnosis. Me dealing with life. I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense. I had no idea what to do. I thought I replied, is the biggest lie. Nah, sometimes I reply in my head. I end up waiting for a text back, thinking I actually replied. You have had crippling executive dysfunction for all your life. You find out it is ADHD, and finally get a doctor to prescribe you stimulants. The stimulants do nothing. The stimulants do nothing. Me, in the middle of my conversation trying to remember what I was talking about. Depression, heart attack, ADHD medication, my favorite bands. I just find music I like and put it into a giant playlist. Me after completing exactly one task on my to-do list. Me who just finished reading a good book. My trying to remember what it is about the next day. ADHD. Complete each task in order one by one. Put all things on the same priority level. And freeze for 2 weeks. When you are part of the group, but not the conversation. Me waiting until I am late to hurry up. Me. Nice to meet you. Person. We have met before? Me. What is an extreme sport? Doing your homework while the teacher is collecting it. Me. Leaving my house at 8:15 hoping that I make it to work by 8 o'clock. Me finishing a project at 11:45 with 2 more papers and 5 assignments to finish by 11:59. I did not hear no bell. My brain after I try something new and I am not instantly a pro at it in 5 seconds. Neurotypicals on Adderall. I painted my room in 2 hours and did my essay in 1 hour. Me on Adderall. I made breakfast instead of eating peanut butter from the jar. My friend's trans wife thanking me for never calling her by her dead name. Me who forgot it the moment we met.